Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you who are working. Um,
You're
thank
good.
you. Thank you
You're
for
good.
everyone at the Alaska Women's Hall of Fame, and especially to Stephen Levi, who put the nomination forward. My grandma Mardy, with her soft hazel eyes and her enormous hugs, her warmth and her molasses crybaby cookies, holds a special place in our family, and we're so pleased to have her recognized here today. As you mentioned, Mardy is best known for her passionate work to preserve wilderness. In Alaska, particularly, the work she and her husband Olis did with others to create protection for the National Wildlife Refuge. Um, that all is well documented in the biography and all of those things. What I want to say is Mardy loved Alaska. She grew up in Fairbanks in the early pioneer days, was the first woman graduate from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and she spent her honeymoon on a dog team sled with Olis because, as she said, don't leave me playing bridge with the ladies all winter. So she went with him. This became material for her memoir, Two in the Far North. And if you haven't read it, I'd recommend it. Of course, I'm biased, but it really showcases a lot about growing up in Alaska. It's clear from her writing that she loved Alaska wilderness. And I think that dog team venture and all of the other ventures that followed had a deep impression on her. The birds, she was an avid birder, the mountains, the scenery, the animals, the breathtaking expanse. Alaska was in her heart. Olis's research took them down to Wyoming in the late 1920s. And that's where I knew her, in her log cabin near Grand Teton National Park. But her reverence for Alaska was always there, as was the sourdough starter that she had brought from Alaska. And that's my one regret, is that I never took some of that starter to keep it going through the second century. But I sit and think, what made her so influential? Why was she not just my grandmother, but the grandmother of the wilderness movement? It certainly wasn't strident marches or angry political work. I think there was something more profound in how she influenced people. I saw this up close. When I was a teenager, she hired me to come out and work one summer. We spent the summer together in her log cabin. Mornings, I was tasked with dusting and baking those cookies, while she worked in the back room at her typewriter. And what an image that was for this granddaughter here, to see her grandmother working, calling senators, typing, um, writing letters. In the afternoon, we would head down to the Snake River for a quick dip, and then back in time for tea. Tea was at 4 o'clock, Earl Grey and those cookies. I served the cookies while she talked to whoever dropped in for tea, and there was always someone to talk about wilderness, to just be a friend and visit, to ask her to sign a copy of her book. And here's the thing, Mardy was a great listener. She could reach out to people in powerful ways, and she communicated love and a belief of what could be. She didn't preach at people, she listened to people and worked with them. Mardy ends her book, Two in the Far North, hoping for continued wilderness preservation. She writes, and I quote, "Perhaps my strongest perpetual hope is this: do I dare to believe that one of my great-grandchildren may someday journey to the Sheenjek and still find the gray wolf trotting across the ice of Lobo Lake? Yes, I do still dare to believe." And maybe because I'm the mother of some of those great-grandchildren, this resonates with me. She would be alarmed at the climate threats facing Alaska today. And yet I reach for her words to quote, "If we allow ourselves to become discouraged, we lose our power and momentum. I believe she would want all of us to use our power and our momentum to fight for this planet in whatever ways we can right now. So here we are on October 19th. Mardy died on October 19th. This was in 2003 at the age of 101. I still miss her. On behalf of all the Muries, I'd really like to thank you so much for recognizing her today. Thank you.